honest talk about the downsides of being a consultant. Everybody talks about the highlights and the good things and whatever the positive part about being consultant free. There's no ceiling of growth, blah, blah, blah. But very few people actually discuss the rough parts and the difficulties and not feeling safe and not having any consistency and a lot of different challenges we're going to discuss. I got inspired by Grace Adams. I'll link her here. So not the singer, but the content creator. She was sharing actually the difficulties behind her quitting the Diary of a CEO podcast marketing team, and she launched her own thing, and she's still figuring things out while she's doing. She's not sitting down and just thinking and journaling before she gets things done. She's actually created a business that she makes more money than what she was making as an employee. But it's difficult, and it comes with a lot of pain, and it also comes with a lot of uncertainty and fear. So there's a lot of challenges that come with like going independent and going consulting. And this situation or this conversation started because a good friend of mine, as you can see from previous videos, I share about growth phase in the company I built and other consultants that I'm bringing on, pay per project, and connecting them with different clients and everything. And I was pitching the consultancy life to a good friend of mine, but I realized that she actually thrives more in a context of being an employee and having certainty in what's happening, belonging to a team, focusing on one thing. And I realized, yes, it's not all beauty and it's very difficult. And at least once a week, I'm feeling insecure and I'm feeling like a fraud and it's terrible and stuff. So it's not all perfect, and it's not for everybody, and it's not for everybody in every stage of your life. So now I wanted to share positive things, just general, and the reality behind those positive things. So positive things, yes, business is making good money, great. Flexible hours, I do have flexibility. I do have a better income per hour worked, at least. I do have possibilities of growing this business, and I'm very optimistic, and I see all the possibilities, and the growth potential is much higher than any of the jobs I could get here and everything. But that doesn't mean it is a given. That doesn't mean it's happening already. Yes, you do. I have closed some contracts with some clients, and that's given me a good income and everything. But it's not only that. Nobody talks in between. In between those clients, in between getting referred, you have to do sales. Most of the people I know, consultants for growth phase as well, hate the selling part. Whether it is you have to build your LinkedIn and position yourself as a thought leadership or whatever, or you have to go to the network events and contact and introduce yourself and tell everybody what you do for work, and then you can help them, or reach out or create your Upworks profile and like send proposals to people or connect with people on LinkedIn. That sales part everybody hates. Like, I have not met someone who's like, I love to sell my services. Not so. That sucks. So if you're in between clients, or you have like space for four clients and one drops and the other one drops, you have like a steady income that you're expecting to have or you're aiming to have, and that drops, you are again on sales mode, and nobody's paying you for that sales period of time where you're like searching and reaching out and finding. And the reality is that, at least when you're starting like me, I have not been a consultant for a year yet. It's been since July last year, so officially since August 2025. So on August 2026 is going to be one full year of consultant world and life and clients and everything. And I would say 90% of my clients, actually exactly 90% of my clients, have come from referrals, from previous jobs, from previous investor in a company that I used to work with, that not someone from someone my husband knows that was in need of someone to help them with growth, and he just told them, I know someone who's good at this, and referred me to it. It's always, well, not always, 90% of the time there was one, out of 10 clients, there was one that it came from, like, yeah, saying my LinkedIn and following and reached out and literally closed that way. But it is a pain in the ass to sales. So that is why I'm actually building something. We're not going to talk about it here, but the growth phase, the company I'm building is in itself, it's getting some engine. I'll link it down below in the comments if you want to take a look at it, to actually create sales on its own, or like leads of interest companies who need a consultant, whether it is an AI and growth, business growth in companies, or AI transformation in companies. And I'm able to capture those leads without having to do the work of selling, and meet them. Like, I don't mind selling in a call, but I mind the previous work of that, and then close them. And once I close them, I can actually refer them to any of the consultants on growth phase. So I'm trying to take care of that pain for other consultants that are part of my company. Anyways, so that is one pain nobody tells you. And as I said, I've never met anyone who loves that part. The other one, I mentioned it, you don't get a specific salary. I know if you have a job, I've gotten many jobs before. I've worked at Meta and I've worked at fintechs and e-commerce and I worked at startups and scale ups in my own business. So you get your salary, you get some bonuses in the end of the year, you might get some equity, and then when you sell or the company gets acquired, you get paid off and whatever. But there's money you cannot count on, but you can definitely count on your monthly salary. And the beauty of it is that taxes are like taken away, like all your accounting is taken and done by your employer. So you actually just focusing your role, right? So here it just that sentence I said, I mentioned like five different things that it's a pain in the ass of being a consultant. First of all, you get a stable income. We all know that. It doesn't need to be more discussed. When you're a consultant, you might have in a couple, like in a period of 3 months, you might have like five different clients consistent, and suddenly one drops and the other one drops, and then the one contract was actually like finished. And anyways, and then you have to do sales, and that in between, nobody's paying you. So one month might be very high in profit or very high in like revenue, and the next month is like half of that. So you do have to manage it as a business, not as your income. I have not paid myself in all this year because it's been for the company. Everything's kept in company. I've been surviving with savings. So it is, and because I am investing the money, but it is a challenge to understand that you have to take that as business money, not as your salary, and then you pay yourself a salary. So nobody, that's one thing, consistent income, and you know what to spend. But everybody knows about it. The second one is taxes. Nobody tells you how freaking pain in the ass is doing your taxes and understanding what are expenses that are business and what are your personal expenses that have nothing to do with business, so you can actually put them on the business card. So I solve that very easily because I have two different, like I have my personal card with my savings and everything, and I have my my business card, and that only covers business trips, business like meetings, a coffee with a potential client, and I pay for the coffee. That's a business expense. The transportation to get there, etc. Those are business expenses. But so I very neatly divide. But every year, every 2 months, I have to do my taxes and report and check my expenses and submit and and put all my invoices to all my clients. And it's a pain in the ass, and that's taken care of when you're an employee. And the third one is that you get to focus in when you're an employee, you get to focus in one thing, what you do best, right? In this case, I'm a consultant. What I do best is actually being able to deep dive, understand, talk to people in the team, to every single area, and map out what are the opportunities, the risks they have, how to unlock growth, and which tests to run to automate, and overview a business growth potential basically, and start turning on the potentials and then putting in an AI in to automate some stuff. But that's my skill. But I actually, I would say that's 60% of what I end up doing, because there's 20% of sales I have to do. There's 20% of like CFO basically of my own business, understanding what money I want to put to invest, to reinvest in the business, to put in investments accounts. How much am I going to pay myself? Like every single structure of that whole thing. So that's another 20%. So and I'm forgetting about more stuff, but like you realize that your specialty you only do 60% of the time. When you are an employee, you actually do that 90% of the time. There's 10% of admin work you're going to have to do, but 90% of the time you're going to focus in your skill set, and that is freaking great. Another thing that is not talked about is the confidence feeling. I know that when you have a job, and I've experienced it, my friend has experienced it. She has only worked in tech companies, in Twitter, Facebook, Google, TikTok. And she's experienced it. Every time you enter a new team, you are not just in Pinterest. You are like feeling like overwhelmed and feeling like, are you good enough or not? I understand. But when you are, I lost my thought there. This is real. I said honest update, and this is real. Oh, there's another one coming, which is like structure. But oh yeah, confidence. So you do have to put yourself up. And if you're a woman, you're gonna get this. If you're a man, you're not gonna understand this. But throughout our cycle, there are some weeks of that cycle of every 30 days that you don't feel confidence. There's one week that you feel on top of the world. You are able to do everything, think three times the same, and solve every problem, and you vision, and you're able to envision everything, and you're on top of the world. But there's a couple of weeks or one week that you're going to feel like crap, like a fraudster, and there's no one around you unless you create a community for it to actually put you up. There's no manager helping you out. There's no direct reportees that are giving you feedback. There's nothing. So you have to put yourself back up. It sounds easy until you have to do it. So if you have not experienced it, just ignore this, because once you experience it, you're going to realize how difficult it is. And that's why a lot of people actually do entrepreneurship with a co-founder, because then you have each other. And I do recommend that if you are aligned in where you want to get the business towards and in which speed. But putting that aside, another one that I wanted to, and I forgot it. I will. You see, this is not my great hormonal days. What was it? Oh, there's many things, but there was the structure. This is the last one that I'm going to mention here. But uncertainty, which comes together with 1 month you have clients and the other one you might not have, or you only have one instead of five, and etc. So the uncertainty and the constant doubt of yourself, it's painful and can be big. So you do need to surround yourself with people that know you, trust you, and are able to bring you back up. I do have one of my best friends who's like, I just send voice notes, and she's like a master mind in business, and she's smart, and she's like a great coach, and we coach each other basically with voice notes, and that's been like a lifesaver. I love her to that. Anyways, so that is one of the things that nobody talks about because it's not that simple to explain or to understand from the other side unless you have gone through it yourself. And the last but not least is structure. You think you are very self-managed and structured and everything. I've done this twice, like in two periods of my life. Like in 2018, I did it for a year, and then now, almost a year. And I hope to stick to it for longer. But oh, before I forget, on those uncertainty moments, nobody talks about it, but like at least once a week, I feel like, am I doing the right thing? Is this correct? Whatever. And I look for jobs to apply, even though I know that those jobs are not going to pay me what I can make as a consultant. Like they cannot. The market is not as good as an employee, at least in the region that I live at. So they even even the people who like I reach out to or somebody referred me and there's an open role and I get a notification and I'm like, oh, I should just apply to. And there you go. I spent 3 hours applying for a job that most likely I don't even want to because it's not going to be able to pay me what I'm worth or what I feel I'm worth. And it's all because I'm feeling insecure and I'm feeling I want to belong and I'm feeling like unsafe and all these like doubts that you get. So you don't take decisions when you're feeling this way. And if you do, you end up like just wasting a lot of hours in pointless applications because the job market, it's already super complicated and difficult. And not because you suddenly are insecure about your consulting and want to apply for jobs and you're going to get a job. It's not going to happen. So I've applied for jobs that I didn't even want and not gotten them. So that's great. It makes me laugh because either you laugh or you cry. But like in those insecure moments, even when I see the job posting, the recruiter herself tells me like, dude, you know what the expectation of the salary is at, right? Like it's around this. And I think, dude, this is like half of what I make as a consultant and working part-time as a consultant. And I still apply because I just want to feel I belong and I just want to have some confirmation in those insecurity moments. And it's just, I realized, by the way, I didn't get it. Just even the job I didn't want that was under my paycheck, under my seniority, I didn't get it. So just the job market is already super hard. So if you're not confident that you want with all your feelings and because of the right reasons you want a job, don't waste your time applying for jobs. And this is something I'm telling to myself. But I've done it and I do it every once in a while because I feel stressed. Not even about financial stress, but like emotional stress and different things nobody talks about. And the last thing I wanted to discuss is that structure. You do have to create your own structure. I can talk about the benefits and the good thing about being consultant, especially if you are a growth-based consultant. But in my experience so far, almost a year in, I can share what the good side are after sharing all the difficulties. But yes, every once in a while, I'm not going to say every week, but like every couple of weeks, I'm going to feel insecure. I'm going to feel like a fraud, or what am I doing? Am I doing the right thing? Does this have a future? AI is actually taking over, blah, 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 blah. And suddenly I end up applying for a new job I don't even want. But anyways, the last thing, which is positive and negative, is structure. So when you have a job, whether you like it or not, and I know we all are complaining about like all these rules of return to work, return to the office, expectations from companies, 5 days a week and everything, but that gives you at least structure, right? You have to wake up and get out of the door, go commute, go to your office, work, engage with your coworkers. Hopefully you like them. Finish what you have to do for today, close your computer, leave, go home. Hopefully you don't have to work again, but it gives you structure, and then you can choose what to do with the hours that you have in between. If you take a break, you go to the gym or not, or you come home or whatever. As a mom, or if dad, it can be hard because you have to pick up your kids and all these things. Anyways, putting that aside, it gives you structure. And if you are doing consulting like I am doing on your own time, your own schedule, like first of all, I have my calendar, I have to have it blocked, and I cannot have meetings at a specific hour when I go pick up my kids. And there's different things. And I work with clients from different time zones, which is crazy. But yes, I do have to connect after the kids go to bed. I have to connect at night and have a couple meetings whenever I have a client from San Francisco right now. And the focus is not working. Great. There we go. Oh, this is staying in the edit. So it is a pain in the ass, but I was going to say it is a pain in the ass, and you do have to create a structure. And you think you're very structured until you have to do it on your own, and there's no one demanding you to do, like, this is a kickoff meeting, this is that, this is that. You have to arrange that with your clients and organize your days. For me, what has worked best, because I don't have that many like small clients, I have bigger clients, so I take 1 day or 2 days a week per client. And I try to focus like 80% of that day only in one client work, because my ADD, if not, is just going to go all over the place. If I get distracted with some other clients, I might go into like this rabbit hole of solving a problem I found in the other client. So I am structuring my work and my deliveries per days, and that works for me. And I do connect at night as well, and whatever. But some people really, really struggle with this. And I have had to help others, like, this is how you do it, and this is how you're going to serve. And it depends on your client, because sometimes your client is going to say, I want you to come to my office once a week or twice a week or whatever. Or some clients are going to be, I just want to have a once a week meeting with you and this update and a dashboard. So you do end up adapting to your client and structuring, but it is a challenge. But that being said, going to the positive side, that has allowed me for the first time in my life to actually go to a gym consistently. So because of a lot of different life decisions, I've decided to prioritize going to the gym. Like, I'm not even saying getting in the best shape of my life, getting super healthy, because I just ate pizza, but sourdough homemade. But I decided I am going to build muscle, and for that I need to. I even bought some equipment, whatever. But going to the gym really helps me just not think, just pull the machines and follow instructions and just do it. And I've been the most consistent I've been, and it's been 6 months, I would say 6, 7 months, and it's because I have this flexible time. I get to decide when I have available hours and when I don't have available hours. So because I've had kids, I don't have to rush them in the morning. We sometimes rush because I have stuff to do and everything, and it gets busy. But it's not like a die or run, right? Like, kind of feeling that you have to rush up the door and you have to be there and you have to check your badge or anything. What is happening with this focusing, anyways? So there is a lot of flexibility, and you get to choose what you prioritize. In this stage of my life, I am prioritizing freaking going to the gym. So whatever happens, I don't put meetings at that time. And every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, sometimes I just change it to Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. I go to the gym in the morning, deliver the kids, deliver the husband, deliver the kids, and directly to the gym, come back home, shower, work starts. And that has given me structure, and that has given me the possibility to actually become stronger and healthier and blah blah blah, all we know. But I wouldn't be able to do that if I was working, if I running in traffic, to go to an office, and there was, like, I used to have an office, and yes, you can get a break, but it takes you too long to go to, like, the change of clothes. It was a mess. So I'm very grateful for this, because after picking up the kids, my schedule gets very short, and I have dinner with them, I enjoy them, whatever, bedtime, playtime, all these things we have as family, and then it's work time again, the few times that my brain is available. So consulting, positive things, we all know that, but the flexibility is, I think, number one. Number two is you get to choose basically what you earn. Of course, the market is going to tell you what you're worth or what you can earn, because you're going to give offers and they're going to negotiate back and stuff. But you can run some calculations. I can help you with that. Just text me here. We can have a conversation about that. I have a lot of friends, and anyone applying to growth phase, I help them with that. And you get to choose, and there's no real ceiling. You can choose how many hours. And then the beauty of consulting is that once you have a client, and then you have too many clients, if they keep referring you to get another client but you don't have enough hours, you just raise your rate basically, and you get to charge per project. And as I shared, I don't know if I've shared that video already, but like, I am productizing my services and see how that one goes. But there's no ceiling. You can grow as much as you want. And I know a lot of people say, oh yeah, the ceiling is the amount of hours you have. Yes, but you keep charging more per hour. There's no real ceiling. It's not super scalable in the terms of just click, release, and charge for a software service. No, it's a service. It's something that based on what you do with clients, which is what I'm doing, you're noting what they actually need and creating products for those needs. And then you can get to test and run things and then run something scalable. So as a mid-term solution for your professional life and exploring different things at the same time, I think consulting is top notch. If you're in between jobs, if you're between deciding what to do, if you need flexible schedule, if you are only able to work part-time because of a life context or whatever, it is a freaking great option. But it is hard, but it takes a community, and it does take a lot of work to sell, and you depend on your referrals. Like, you depend on someone talking about you. Like, that's just what it does. And yes, it depends. If you don't have anyone talking about you, you depend on you going to network events and basically selling your services very cheap in order for them to refer you afterwards. So if you're interested, let me know. But this was not a video to sell you. This was a video for me to make you feel good about you being an employee and having a stable job and appreciating the stability and comfort and yeah, that a job gives you. And if you are struggling launching your business and making things work and selling your services, I'm just saying you're not alone. I am struggling. A good friend of mine who I contact on LinkedIn, and we share every time we get an inbound client and how much we're going to charge for it, and we share those things. We're all struggling. It is a pain. The number might be great, like what you report, and we say, yes, my business made more than what I made in a month as an employee, whatever. But in reality, that's your business making the money, not you. So I'm just saying it's a struggle and here we are, and it's a lot of uncertainty. Just to give a little bit of insight in my business, there's many opportunities. I started doing consulting just for marketing and growth for scale ups basically, but then one day company contacted me to do AI analysis and transformation. I focused whatever drives growth. So I'm gonna go in and automate things that drive growth. But then another company is asking to like evaluate, like diagnose the company's leverage or AI leverage. How much are they actually using AI? So this is just an example. I am like, okay, I developed a system to be able to evaluate the AI leverage of a company and then train them and implement some changes and reevaluate that level so they can report it to their investors and see that there's been some improvement. And that is a product that I'm building to deliver to them and see how it goes, and that can be scalable. So these are many examples that I can give you. And the months, not days, the months that or weeks that I don't have too many clients, that I have too much work and I have some space, I get to focus inside projects like VC does here, the venture capital. What is it? Glassdoor. I built. It's there. It's actually launched. It's growing. It's getting somewhere, but it's been very slow because that's been my side business. But if I had not had a job in which is not consistent and gives me sometimes some weeks with a lot of time and space to do other side projects, I wouldn't have been able to launch different things and have this conversation. So there are positive things. Things are building up, but there's nothing definitive. There's nothing, like Grace said, something like there's nothing like written in stone yet, and everything can evolve, and I can change my mind anytime, and I might suddenly get employed. Hope not, but I might, and maybe I need it. Maybe if we have to move somewhere else, which I've been looking into, um, the easiest way is actually being employed in that place. So I might have to apply to that little town, not town, to that country, to be able to get a visa for me and a family, etc. So just saying, there's many things, everything can change, but I need that flexibility right now, even if it gives me anxiety, lack of stability. I hope this gives you a bit of an insight, and let me know what you think, where you are at, if you're a consultant, if you're an employee, if you're looking, if you're like curious to see or to hear the positive things. I can make another video or I can talk to you just one-on-one, and subscribe because there's